Hello, everybody. Welcome in on Friday night. Of course, instead of Saturday night, we had to switch things up again this week. But
Yeah, boo.
glad, man, boo.
No, the only reason I'm booing that is because I had planned on working on the Goose Story animation tomorrow. Like I was like, oh, I'll have all day tomorrow to work on the animations and get all this stuff done. And I was like, and then Chris texts me. He's like, hey, yeah, we're doing it tonight.
Right. Well, hey, Daddy's got to make his money. I'm getting a Saturday shift at the bar, so gotta make some good tips. So thanks for adjusting and rolling with it. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna be interesting. Fuse Relativity coming at you one day sooner. So
yeah,
bam, it's like a shot of adrenaline right there. You weren't expecting it.
Yeah, 32 episodes in, we got to keep you on your toes. You got to bob and weave.
not be consistent whatsoever.
Yeah.
You thought we were gonna zig, but we zagged on your ass. Is what we did there.
Well, no, at least I
Yes.
was able to get the animation, or at least that front animation done.
I liked it. The pumpkins were a little bumpy, but
And you kept the leaves in the tree, so nobody had to freaking rake them. So I like that.
Yes.
yeah, nothing worse than having to rake leaves off your lawn. But Friday night, so we're going to do our normal show. Everything is peachy, just switching up for Mr. Three's Company over here has a bar shift tomorrow evening. So
That's right, Mr. Flemmy. Mr. Flemmy, isn't it? Hold on, I gotta go hawk a loogie. Go ahead. We'll
I
wait.
didn't have all day to prepare my voice. So,
Me. Mo. Yeah, come on. Well, drink some honey. No. Yeah, but I just went with Three's Company because at the bar I put that on. We were listening to music, but I had that on mute, and we just watched. It was really odd to see Three's Company because it was just the clothes were hysterical and like I don't know, and like people were actually having arguments debating whether they liked it or not. So like it stirred a debate among the people that had nothing to do with politics, nothing to what I mean, like.
that's kind of
Human beings were discussing and debating in a friendly manner Three's Company, and for it seemed not bad,
I'm down with that. Better than the stuff that people normally debate these days. So, yeah, Three's Company. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I wasn't guessing that was going to bring us together, but we tried everything else. So you know what I mean? Like,
Well, you did have beer too, so that helps.
Yes.
it was weird. The one time I went in and canned the beer for him, I helped him can it, and I'm like, I just got paid money to put beer in cans. Somehow this seems wrong. I feel icky. This is the exact like I've sold out. I don't know what's going on, and I'm tipsy turvy, topsy turvy, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, other than animation on the moment's notice, John, how else are you doing tonight?
The end of my extended vacation. Well, I say extended. It was nowhere near as long as yours.
Oh,
But-
that's true, but still bummer that you're almost done with vacation. It's the worst when you realize you got to go back to work.
Yes. I mean, I've still got 2 days, but yeah.
Yeah, you just know it's coming though.
Yeah,
It's hanging over you. I hate that. Is a crappy. It's like going back to school. Like, ugh.
well, I mean, I kind of did this to myself, but the trying to rid myself of my nicotine habit at the start of my vacation kind of ate through most of it. Like, this is the first week where I really haven't had, I don't know a good way to describe it. But
Withdrawal symptoms?
Right. It wasn't a pleasant experience. You weren't having a nice couple weeks.
So, the first 2 weeks were like, eh. And then I'm like, oh, I'm actually not feeling too bad. And, yeah.
Well, hey, I think a congratulations is still in order. That's a hard thing to kick. I know from experience, so,
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's a tough one. The old joke is it's harder. It's like nicotine is harder to kick than heroin. So that makes I'm 0 for 2. So it's that's joke.
Is it? Is it Kirk?
It is a yes.
The, Mr. Funny over here is telling a joke about heroin. I don't know. Well,
Yeah. Well, what? Yeah. Well, what are we talking about other than
it's so we kind of ran some stuff across, and one thing we were going to bring up, of course, right off the bat, because we're on Twitch, is the fact that Twitch got hacked recently.
Well, not just recently. It was yesterday?
Well, the day before, I think. But
yeah.
But still, it was like a real big hack. And one thing I wanted to point out, because I thought it was a little ridiculous. So Twitch's main code or whatever got hacked and put on the dark web. And all people seem to care about, not that like millions of people's information was out there, all they cared about was that the salaries of the top streamers got put out. And there was so many people complaining about how much money the top streamers make. And it was annoying.
Yes, but also it's like capitalist stream there, because this wasn't like, a couple $100 a month. This is millions of dollars a month we're talking about for the top ones.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was month. I think it was yearly, but...
Well, I agree. But it was yearly, but it was only yearly from like 2019, and some of them were up above 20 million.
Yeah, but it also seems like I couldn't figure out why people would care, one, and two, it was all hate. Like, well, not all of it, but half the people are like, "Oh my goodness, these people are getting paid millions to sit and stream. How dare they?"
Well, and I think a part of it, I think people think they're creating stuff, so they're almost being artistic. And like in the comedy world, stand-up comedy, a lot of time is spent bitching and griping about the other comedians that are doing better than you. You know what I mean? So there is that kind of you are mad at the people that are making money at the thing that you're trying to do. There's just a natural, that's a part of it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, just think about it. First of all, the people that are on the top of that list, it's not like they sat there and they got that way overnight. I mean, most of those people do, like...
It took years or months to build their following.
And on top of that, they're streaming 8 hours a day up to 7 days a week.
I know. It's a hard thing to do, especially you're essentially entertaining people for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I mean,
you work hard for the money. Hard for the money. Okay.
I was going to say, I wouldn't necessarily say it's working hard for the money, but compared to what some CEOs do, it's probably up there in terms of how hard it is per millions earned, at least for the top ones.
Well, just working that much. I mean, like we'll talk about later, but I keep seeing stories about like the 32-hour work week. So they're saying 40 hours is too much and people aren't as productive. But that's, we can talk about later. But I mean, just being in front of your computer, just focused, staring at a screen, like doing a project, like it is on a certain level draining,
Yeah. Well,
taxing.
But the funny thing is everyone's always talked about 4-day work weeks and all of that. And I've been on a 36-hour work week since 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're talking about 4 like 9-hour days.
That's what I do.
12s.
Yeah, I'm 4
well, no, that was the thing. That it's actually you don't actually work more hours. You do 32 hours, but they pay you the same.
Yeah, right.
That's the theory.
Well, and there's places that have shown that it does help. Because, I mean, realistically, if you knew you didn't have to work 4 extra hours that week, but you were still getting paid, or, in the sense of 8 extra hours that week, but you're still getting paid those 8 hours, yeah, you'd probably work a little bit harder.
Well, yeah, because I think that everyone, 2 days off is great, but it's nice to have that one just to run errands, because then you can actually have 2 days where you can kind of enjoy and relax and have fun and do something. You know what I mean? Where it's just that extra day off really helps.
This is
and it's just one extra day off away from work.
Biggest pet peeves of all is the fucking work week. And the reason why that's kind of why I like off shifts, and I spent 5-6 years on weekend nights, is because everything is more. Almost everything happens between the stupid hours of 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Like almost everything.
Right.
And,
I'm guessing you worked a couple like midnight shifts or something, like goofy hours. Where you
no, I worked overnight, so 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Right,
Friday
so
through Sunday for 5 years.
Gives your vampire complexion.
Yes.
Right, got it. You avoided the sun.
Just the ability and ease of getting stuff done during the week is ridiculous. Like, taking kids to the zoo during the week is so much easier than trying to do it on the weekend when everyone and their brother's trying to go. It's like, yeah.
And I'm against the 4-day work week.
Of course,
I think that everyone. Well, I just know that in my line of work it'll never happen, so I'm voting that nobody gets it. So
if you can't get everybody, no, come on. There'd be some. There's a lot of office jobs. This would be better, and then you won't have to go visit their office. So there.
Yeah, and Kirk brings up a point. Like if all the offices went 4/10s and had Fridays off, you know,
I would just have more work to do on Monday.
Well, true, but you say it's not possible for your line, but I think it's more probable. Well, it's possible because all they would have to do is break your stuff because you got most delivery companies don't run on Sundays, correct?
Most what?
Delivery companies don't run on Sundays.
They do not. No.
Yeah. So if you say it's not possible, but I would beg to differ. The fact that you have 6 days that most delivery companies run, if you split it 3/12s and 3/12s, you now have two separate shifts that are fully 100% covering your delivery schedule.
Yeah.
So in fact, it could benefit you by only having to work Monday through Wednesday and having a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, I just know it would never happen, unfortunately.
This is shaking up his schedule too much. It's rocking his world. He again it. He's shaking his pitchfork at you right now. Don't change my schedule. I like my schedule.
Yes, I'm a creature of habit, and I don't like change. Get off my lawn. All right.
But, I mean, just as of, personal well-being, having those extra days off, like, imagine, you're in a position where you're already doing 12-hour shifts, especially sometimes of the year, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes, you would potentially lose money because you wouldn't be doing those 12-hour shifts 5 days a week. You'd only be doing them 3. But the fact that you would have 2 extra days off would be huge.
Oh, if I thought it was a possibility, I would be the first one signing the petition. But I just don't think it's a possibility, so I would never get my hopes up, and I'm just going to not give it to anybody else either. So,
well,
take that.
See, it doesn't affect me either because I'm already in a field that is very heavily 3/12s anyway.
Wait, do you work in a hospital or at a medical? Where do you work?
Yeah, I'm in a hospital.
Okay, I meant to ask you last week. Seriously, when a new nurse pops in, do they have to tell her like, "Look, you're going to see a pale guy walking around. You don't need to lure him back into bed and stick an IV in him. It's just John. He works here. It's okay." Do they have to brief him?
No.
He's got to have 2 name tags.
Yeah, not a patient.
Seriously, not a patient.
No, my eyes always look like that. It's cool.
I do have to answer that. It's very rare. It's like once a year. But yes, that question does come up. Oh, in fairness, I look like a fucking raccoon, so I'm not surprised. I've had people say like, "Oh, some women I bet wish their eyes look like that." I'm like, "What?" Like, I don't think they look like they want to look like they have 2 black eyes 100% of the time. Yeah.
Like you kind of look like the chick from Fight Club? Or what? Just real pale and.
No, it's like Uncle Fester with
Little
what was
bit.
the Uncle Fester with the chick Elvira with her
Okay.
eyeballs.
Didn't Elvira just come out? Is she lesbian? Wasn't that the news? I swear that just broke. I saw that flash on something.
I cannot comment to that.
Yeah, I don't keep up with those. It's not my algorithm, Kirk.
It's Halloween's coming up. Come on, it's Elvira time. I don't know why it popped in either.
It shows a little bit about your search history.
Oh, mine is a random person, like the random jokes. No, like yodeling or what? How to yodel. Okay, and then it's chips because I wrote a joke. They're doing a remix of Chips, and it's called Microchips because all the actors are midgets. So they're doing it. Come on, Microchips, nothing.
I feel like I've heard that one before.
Oh, you also
Really?
got me to cough.
All right. Well, wait. Well, what were we? I forget. We were
I don't know because we started off with privacy and then we ended up on me being a raccoon. So
Oh, well, that's usually where we end up, John. So,
but
no, we were talking about privacy because Twitch got hacked, and there's just all these hacks going on, and people are constantly having their identity stolen, and go ahead, John.
My point of this and why I brought it up and wanted to talk about it is I don't think there is a reasonable expectation to privacy on the internet anymore because it doesn't matter. I have been hacked from two major companies this year alone, that being Twitch and T-Mobile. And before that, it was what was the big credit reporting one that got hacked? It just seems like every year another company is like, "Oh yeah, we got hacked. Sorry." And it's like, well, why do we even trust these companies anymore if it's just going to be that in 6 months it's, "Oh yeah, sorry, we got hacked. All your shit got leaked." Might as well just.
Right. And at a certain point, I mean, if whole countries are getting taken down by other countries, what chance does you know what I mean, like a little startup company have of defending that? At a certain point, isn't it? It's just like if people really want to hack something, they're going to hack it.
Well, and that's just it. And it's like Twitch isn't just this, small time company. It's owned by Amazon. So if Twitch got hacked, there is potential reason to believe that Amazon could be next, or that they had backdoored themselves into Amazon.
You just brought up a good point, John. It was probably Elon. He's behind it.
But I mean, that's my point. Is with all these companies, I mean, what's the biggest one would be Google. If someone managed to backdoor into Google and get all of that, I mean, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy anymore because everything's leaked. I know my social security is on the dark web somewhere. I know my email with all my old passwords is on the dark web somewhere. I've had email alerts from the multitude of different companies that I've had to sign up with fraud detection. They're like, "Oh yeah, all your shit's on the dark web." Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, but in fairness, when anybody tries to use your information, it all comes up vampire. So...
Yeah.
Do not sell this man garlic. I can't buy garlic. It's horrible.
Well, yes, privacy is kind of a farce anymore, right? Because, I mean, just the amount of information that's taken from your cell phone, it would be mind-boggling if you actually knew.
And that's the thing that amazes me about people nowadays. Especially the ones that think that they're tracking people through the COVID vaccines. They really wanted to track you. You're voluntarily carrying around shit that tracks you.
Yeah, you're linking where you're going and checking in and how you're doing and Ubering to there, and they can. You're already doing it to yourself.
And Google default tracks your phone or your account if it's geolocated. I think it defaults. They may have changed it. I just
That's
know that
creepy. Yeah, you're far. You're 14 minutes away from home. You're going. You're going
And
here. You're like easy Google.
that's why they track it, is because they sold it as an ease of use thing, that they can say, now we can tell you, oh, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get home or to go to work, but if you went this route, it'll take you 10 because there's an accident on this way. Like,
Oh, the first time that happened to me, John, I actually I mean, I'm not even joking. I turned off my phone because it was like, I got in my car to come home from work and it was like, hey, you're, 20 minutes for whatever from home. And I'm like, wait a minute. How does it know?
yeah, but like most people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, oh, cool. It'll every once in a while alert me that there's something going on. I have never been alerted that there was a traffic accident or a traffic slowdown on my way home, and I've hit it almost every single day. That's a different rant that I want to do. But
isn't it kind of bad that you're removing people's ability to drive themselves home afterward? Because you take the same route. Like most people, when they drive before cell phones telling you where to go all the time, people would zone out because they drove the same way each time. So they were already on autopilot. So it's like you're autopiloting at somebody who's already on autopilot.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like you're taking away any responsibility of where they're actually going.
Doubt people use GPS to get home. I think a majority of the things, like I'll look and see if, because it usually pops up about a half an hour before I leave for work. And it'll say, hey, 20 minutes from home or whatever. And I just look to make sure it's not like 40 minutes to home, because then that would indicate that there's something going on.
Right, a traffic thing to avoid, like go a different way.
I go home in the middle of the night, so it's almost never anything. And they also never report anything that's going on. I've had the interstate closed where I get on the interstate, and it didn't tell me. It's just like, yeah, you're good.
Drop the ball, Google phone.
I feel like the next best thing, if I had like the next time I take 2 weeks of vacation, would be just to drive to completely random places for 2 weeks, just to throw off everything.
What are you doing with your vacation? I'm throwing off my phone.
I'm
screwing with them. You know what? Screw you, coordinates. I'm doing my own thing.
But I mean, it's not
time well spent.
Time well spent. Yeah.
We got on this topic, but it's not even that reliable, because I don't work Fridays, and yet every single Friday I get a thing that says, "Hey, 20 minutes or 26 minutes to work," and I'm like, I don't work Friday. Sorry. I'm not volunteering to go in because Google told me to.
I'm not lazy, phone. Get off my back. God.
You could say the same thing, John, for like cookies and all that stuff that.
Oh, it's all the same.
Wait, you're bad-mouthing cookies? What the hell?
No, internet cookies. Different thing, Kirk.
Oh. Proceed.
Yeah. So, cookies are like information that's tracked when you go to a website. And, you have to, basically now you have to accept it. Otherwise, you can't really get onto the site.
Right. They make it so big you can't see anything else and get around it. So he's like, yes, all right.
Yeah. I really need to see that story about Elvira. So I'm going to click on that.
It said Halloween boobs. I had to look. Okay. Probably.
I know this is kind of off of cookies, but it does kind of relate to Facebook, because Facebook is one of the ones that tracks a lot of that. Same with Google and I would assume Amazon. Because we're kind of veering off piracy a little bit. But did you see?
I have something. I hate to just real quick. I'm trying to close my Facebook account. It's a pain. I can't figure it out. I need help. I need tech support to close my Facebook account because the module doesn't want me to stop giving it information. Like it's really like I looked at 3 YouTube videos how you can close your Facebook, and I still don't get it.
That leads me into my thing a little bit better. That Facebook wants to make everyone work more efficient and work from home more efficient. They want to efficiently make people work more.
Oh, the more you're on the computer, and if you can just if you're working for work on your computer, but you can just click over and check, yeah, eyeballs.
I
That's what they
I
want.
saw that and I was like, that's Zuckerberg's just as bad. He just doesn't have phallic shaped rockets.
Maybe he should.
Yeah.
It's like, look, he's like, I think he goes, look, I'm a dick, but at least I'm not that. At least I don't commit that fully to it.
I fear
Well,
I've derailed us a bit.
yeah, I mean, we're talking about privacy, and obviously we're dancing around and joking about, but realistically, it all boils down to there's not a whole lot of it left, and
No.
everybody kind of, gets. It's hard to not be tracked. The only way to do that is to be completely off the grid, which most people aren't. So,
And makes you even more suspicious.
Right. It makes you
For
seem like
no
Ted
reason.
Kaczynski. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a loner in a shed. You write a manifesto and start sending mail bombs and stuff. Well, what about, like, I always think, like, it seems like, look, the nerds won, but their computer addiction that they couldn't handle, they forced everybody to be addicted to computers too, and now everybody can't live without them. So the nerds couldn't handle their own drug. What do you think about that theory?
Well, I mean, it
John,
was inevitable.
that made me think of, did you see the story about the kid who created Ethereum?
Altcoin?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
So there was a story that came across my algorithm the other day that said the kid that created Ethereum did so because Blizzard nerfed his World of Warcraft character.
And now he's probably rich enough to buy Blizzard.
Possibly, but it cracked me up because I was just like, really? You were so mad that they took down your character stats that you created an alternate currency? Huh.
That's not that surprising. Especially when Ethereum's number 2 now, coin-wise?
Yeah. But he said he cried himself to sleep that night. So,
Well, that's the thing when you get into those sort of fandoms, though, like World of Warcraft or what's the other one? I can't think of it because I never played it. I can think of the company's name. Anyway, when you get into those sort of fandoms and they make little changes that affect, little things, people get outright upset about it. Like, it's...
I guess from my perspective, I was just a little bit taken back. Like, wow.
Look, and whatever you just said, Chris, I understood. The only one I understood was Blizzard, and it wasn't the Dairy Queen ice cream thing. It took me a minute to figure that out.
Okay.
No, that's the only one I understood. So you guys are on your own on this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about William Shatner? Do you understand that?
I do know William shit. Yes, he's going to space.
Woo!
He is going to space. October 12th is set.
Space, the final frontier. Come on, that was like that's
pretty good.
It wasn't bad. If he died in space, that would be so poetic.
I guarantee you he's going to quote that before he flies, too.
He better. And I was talking to some people, and the only theory was just as long as he doesn't wear the red shirt, he should come back okay. Because come on, Star Trek joke, boom, bang.
Yeah.
He gets in the rocket and he's like, "Wait, where's the guy with the visor? Where's Spock at?"
Yeah, it's just me. Oh God.
Oh, he was
I don't know what
Spock.
I'm doing.
I was like,
Huh?
You said visor, and I was like, that's Data, and that's Picard.
Oh, dude, I don't know Star Trek. I was just going with the. I mean,
I know.
I know vaguely. I know the terms. I know the thing. There's Scotty. He always needs more power, apparently. And then, Spock had a Vulcan death grip of some sort.
there was the Klingon guy.
There was a Hulu.
God,
Not the Hulu you're thinking of. Different Hulu.
Anyway, so William Shatner is going up on the next Blue Origin launch, which is scheduled for the 12th. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, from all I can see, he's terrified. And I would be too, because...
Especially after that, yeah.
Yeah, after the essay they put out saying that...
Don't fly on these rockets.
Blue Origin is like, nah, I don't know. Don't fly on that one. So... It'll be interesting. I don't think Amazon's going to blow up Captain Kirk, but, it's just one of those things that...
you know what I think? I think this is an elaborate episode of Rescue 911. Do you guys remember? Nothing? Williams? Okay.
No, I know Rescue 911.
I don't think that was William Shatner, was it?
No.
Yes, it was. Bullshit. John,
I'm looking it up right now.
You are wrong. I will tell you. It was William Shatner on Rescue 911.
It was William Shatner.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay.
I'm thinking of... When you said that, I was thinking of Squad 51. Like, when you said Rescue 911, I was like, oh. And immediately I popped to Squad 51, because we've...
See, I don't know what Squad 51 is. Is it like TJ Hooker?
It's
like we're going back and forth. Our references are missing.
Yeah, I know.
Company. I don't know.
Squad 51 was... Oh, no, it's not Squad 51. Don't know what the hell I'm thinking of.
Well, regardless, it got me thinking about rocket launches, right? So we got people going up now, and space tourism, John, has apparently it's gotten a little crazy in the last couple weeks, just like you kind of prognosticated a little bit. And I guess my question to you was going to be, what is going to be the limiting factor to this?
Emergency, that's what it was called.
He asked you a question about the proctologist. How was your episode of the proctologist, is what I heard.
It's going to be cost. Because Blue Origin, Blue Origin's kind of cheap, same with Virgin Galactic, but they're still not, I can't even say that without, because I don't know the costs of Blue Origin or Virgin Galactic's.
Did you say cheap, but you're not saying slutty, right?
I guess the question is, how long till it's free with Prime? But
yeah. Here's the thing with Blue Origin and Virgin. They have limited seats, which means that no matter how many times they can launch, they're limited to that 4 or 5 people. And there is very little they can do to expand that. Because as far as we know, Blue Origin, that's their only rocket. They have prototypes and little pieces of stuff of the bigger one, but they're 5 to 7 years away from even getting that into orbit.
They only have the Mini Cooper. That's the only one they got.
Well, whereas you flip it, and SpaceX is damn near ready to launch Starship. Now, because I looked at it, or I looked at some of the stuff, we were talking about how Starship was looking to fly, people suborbital to get across the world in like 20 minutes. They're planning on taking 1,000 people in those trips. Or they think that the Starship can carry 1,000 people in those trips. Which means that if Starship itself costs $1 million and you can fit 1,000 people on it, that's what? I want to say it's $1,000 a ticket. It might be 10.
That's a lot of money, for
No, it's $1,000 a ticket. No, it's not. Like, if you could buy a $1,000 ticket on Starship and go from Boca Chica to Australia, it's going to be cheaper than if you tried to fly from Colorado Springs to Australia.
Wow. So my other question, I know I just like...
Well, and I kind of took it off on a tangent, but yes, go.
Yes. So my other question was like, what do you think about My concern is going to be the FAA because I feel like a lot of the rocket launches could be happening much faster if it wasn't for all the red tape that was being thrown around.
I mean, yes, but that's because I can't look at Melbourne because it's so once the FAA kind of, and this is where Elon has been fighting the FAA. FAA, in regards to space travel, treats everything like old school space. That is not how SpaceX is doing it. SpaceX is very much rapid, reusable. They want to launch and land a Starship, potentially same day, or at least launch and land the booster and then launch another Starship with that booster the same day.
So are they self-flying? Are there actual pilot in there, or is it just all computers? So there's actually somebody in there flying the plane?
The booster, the booster is completely autonomous. And as of right now, the Dragon is also autonomous.
Are you autonomous?
No.
Are you
Don't ask him, Kirk, he might explode.
Are you a doubting autonomous? Heyo. Okay, no. Okay.
But yeah, so the booster is autonomous and would come back, and their plan is to put another Starship on and launch it. That's why they want to get all of these Starships built so that they have this massive fleet of rapidly reusable ships, which is completely different to anything else anyone else is doing. Because although Blue Origin is planning on full reusability, they're still going to be completely... I think they're still using the drone ship technique.
I know I'm not.
And like Virgin Galactic, they're just space tourists right now. They have a successful orbital rocket, which is more than Blue Origin can say. But it's right now it's just SpaceX. It's just determined it's SpaceX, and SpaceX is not playing nicely with rules that were set up for old school space. I know I kind of circled around because I was trying to figure out what to say with that.
Well, because I know that the last couple, I don't know, probably week, I've seen stories about how the FAA is kind of keeping Elon's launches in check, essentially. And I started to wonder if maybe the FAA is just trying to keep a little control while they still can of the flights that are going up.
It's bureaucratic bullshit, because it's rules and regulations set forth for companies that were only planning on launching 1 or 2 rockets a year. Elon Musk, when he applied for all this stuff, like if I'm not mistaken, when they applied for launch permits out of Boca Chica, they went through those super fast because of all the test flights they were doing. And the FAA is like, well, now you can't have any more because, rules. It's like,
you've already used up your passes. You've already blasted enough rockets. No more.
Oh, and that's just it. It's like you can't, because they have to apply for stuff like any traditional space company would. Like ULA isn't gonna try and test and launch 5 rockets, so they don't have to apply. They apply for the 1 rocket launch. SpaceX is pushing the boundaries of everything.
And they're getting slowed up having to file for permits and get permission to...
Well, and just do what every other space company is doing, because it doesn't affect them nearly as much as it's affecting SpaceX.
So, but then how does that tie in, I wonder, to space tourism? Because that's eventually going to be the bottom line, right? Is, if you got rockets to the point where they can just at will take people up, how is the FAA going to handle that? If you got 3 launches a day, every day.
The only company that's close to doing that is potentially SpaceX and maybe Blue Origin. But even with Blue Origin, they'd have to have a fleet of those. The airplane, is it Airplane 2?
No, that's Virgin.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. But yeah, Virgin would have to have a fleet of aircraft to facilitate even more than a launch a day. And
For
even
space
then,
for space tourism to work, you're going to need to find a place for people to stop to pee. Am I right? Some sort of McDonald's someplace.
well, and
NASA
realistically,
makes a pretty good diaper, Kirk.
Oh,
Well-
okay. Well, you should know. Who better? Who he's urinated more in his pants more than this guy? Am I right, John?
but realistically, it all falls back to SpaceX. Because Blue Origin is nowhere near being able to do multiple launches a day. And they're still suborbital, which means they take off and land right back where they land or launched from. Which means
is amazing, by the way. That still amazes me.
well, yeah, that kind of limits their field of view. Like if they launch and something horrendous happens, they're in the middle of the desert, right, in West Texas. I want to say desert, but like prairie, pretty much.
Right, there's not going to be a lot of innocent bystanders taken
Yeah,
down
no.
with them. They're not going to land in bustling city, metropolis.
That's where Blue Origin has some backup, is that they are launching in the middle of nowhere. Same with Virgin Galactic, is they're launching out of the desert. And, I think they had an issue with their last launch where the spaceship drifted a little bit off course, which is requiring some investigation, last I heard, because they were supposed to launch again, but was put on hold.
Well, when rockets get that age, they get to be teenagers and they don't listen, so it's bound to happen.
That's just it. Like SpaceX, or not SpaceX, Virgin and Blue Origin are probably set up to get unlimited flights out of their respected zones, depending on how safe they can prove their vehicles are. SpaceX is still the only one that's actually trying to go to orbit, which is a whole different ballgame.
It just seems like it's going to be too easy to regulate it. If you're the FAA, you would be able to put a stop to it. Like not a stop, but well, we got a plane flying through there tomorrow, so no launch. I'm sorry.
Well, they just put the flight restrictions up. And that's where it's going to really hinder SpaceX, is if they want to have a zone where they're constantly launching rockets, they're going to have a permanent flight restriction. And on top of that, they'll have to have a permanent boating restriction in their potential landing zone. There's a lot that's going to potentially happen if SpaceX starts doing launches daily. Now, like I was saying, with Virgin and Blue Origin, they're in the middle of nowhere. If you put a flight restrictions there, it's like it may affect a couple flights a year, but they will very quickly find ways around it. In fact, they'll probably have a tourism of flying around launches as they're doing them. But with SpaceX, you have the ocean you have to clear, you have the airspace you have to clear, you have the land you have to clear. All of that has to be clear to launch a rocket. And if they're planning on launching multiple rockets a day or multiple, rockets a week, that has to be closed almost permanently all around SpaceX.
Right. Which I think that's kind of my point, is I'm saying, like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
all this innovation that SpaceX is doing is being hampered by the FAA at this. If there was no FAA, Elon could just be firing rockets up every day and nobody would care. So
on a certain level, though, it's probably keeping from a couple planes from getting exploded. I mean, there's a little rhyme to the reason, right? I mean, you can't launch all the time. There's planes flying. That seems, I'm for that.
Well, and that's why they're there, is they don't want to fly, something happen, they have to terminate the rocket, and all of a sudden you have rocket landing on top of a bridal shower boat out in the Gulf of Mexico. That's why they have those restrictions. And if it comes to the point where they'll just have to... Well, and that's the other thing. That's why SpaceX was looking at those oil platforms. Because the FAA technically only operates in the United States. If they moved it into international waters, I think they can skirt a few of the rules just a little bit.
That was going to be my suggestion. Was
they have
essentially would have to go international waters, which would then, the FAA doesn't have any purview over that. So
which is why
theoretically
they bought 2 oil drilling platforms to use as mobile rocket launching platforms. Yeah, they've already thought of this.
Yeah, seems like that would be the most logical way to go, would be to just
say, fuck you, America, and go 20 miles outside the jurisdiction.
Yeah. Skirt the rules, do the best, and it's unfortunate, I think, that that's the way it has to be for this type of innovation to happen, because, there's so many rules sometimes that you got to find your way around the rule to do what you want to do, even though, from what we know, there's big things going on here.
Yeah. Sorry, I know we were talking about space. I just looked up, or I just happened to look at my phone, and it had a news article that said NASA's about to launch a spacecraft to explore ancient fossil asteroid that led... What? Oh, that led and trailed Jupiter around the sun. So it led and followed Jupiter.
Ah.
So it likely absorbed a lot of the asteroids that
were around Jupiter when it was, forming.
I'm assuming that's what it meant.
Did it take a selfie?
I keep seeing all these articles that come through. Like, my algorithm on my phone that comes through is mostly space stuff, and then I get some stuff peppered in, mostly football and things, of course, that I'm interested in. But apparently there's some big asteroid making its way into our solar system.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
Does it think it's better than us? It's all big.
I think they're worried about it hitting the Earth. I don't know, something like that.
I mean, eventually some big comet or asteroid is going to hit. It's just a matter of time.
Well, with that attitude, sure.
Well, I mean, it's Jupiter can only block us from so many. There will eventually be one that hits us.
So Jupiter is like our offensive line?
Yeah. If you actually look, Jupiter absorbs a lot of the stray asteroids in the galaxy. Same with the moon. The moon absorbs a bunch too. But yeah, it acts as a very good defense against things that are not exactly in ideal orbits.
And I don't want to be dumb space guy here, but if Jupiter and the moon can absorb them, then why would it destroy us instantly?
Well, there's no life on those planets, so.
Oh, it's to give you a perspective, Kirk. When the last set of asteroids hit Jupiter, people with backyard telescopes could see the flashes, and the burning spots were visible from satellites or from telescopes for a while afterwards, and were many times the size of Earth.
So if one of those got through and then hit Earth, it's like, billions of nuclear weapons times 100.
It would take something, I think, the size of like a football field would be game over, extinction. Like
the one in Armageddon was Texas. That was the Texas. So
yeah, but that's movie. I think something the size.
Yes, I know. Wait, that wasn't a documentary? Screw you. That was a documentary. That's Ken Burns at his finest.
But I think it's 10 to 14 kilometers. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. That's not surprising.
That's impossible. You're infallible. You're infallible, John. I've been telling you that for years. I've only known you for months, but I've been telling you that for years. It's weird.
You were the random guy texting him.
Right. I would just drive by at night and just yell that, and then you wouldn't hear it, but I'd do it. I was committed to a mental institution. Hey-o. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. You mentioned Jupiter, and I was like, that's what I was wanting to talk about this week before we moved the podcast up a day.
You guys are gonna bust my balls for making. All right, next week we'll go back. If we would have had one more day, this would be an Academy Award winning. But because I had to move it up, it's all gone to hell. Thanks a lot, Kirk. All right, go ahead.
Well, as long as you know, it's cool.
No, I'm hearing you guys loud and clear. The audience, the Fuzed Relativity audience of millions, they hear it too.
They had to change their schedules, Kirk. That's hard for millions of people.
It's good to get you out of your rhythm. It just shook you up. That's all I was doing. I don't have a job.
No, I saw some real interesting information on Jupiter, which I wanted to dive into, but future episode, it's not a big deal. It's Jupiter. It's hanging out, blocking us from,
Jupiter can wait.
It's taking hits for us, asteroids. So, well, we've kind of had a little bit of a hodgepodge tonight. Friday night, we're having fun. I'm not used to working a podcast after working all day, so my brain's a little scattered myself, so it's cool.
You squeezed in some guitar playing halfway. Come on, that was a blast. It
was fun. I'm glad that I could make that happen.
Better than a cigarette break by far. Easily.
Yes, absolutely. My lunch break at Kirk's house. It was kind of nice. I don't know how Shoop felt about it, but
next time you're washing your hands before you play guitar. I'm just saying. You're wearing what anyway. It's just filthy.
Wow, all right. I'll remember that.
Yes, no, and Shoop did not mind at all. She got some food. She got some pizza crust out. She's like, that guy can come over anytime.
All right. Well, that's good to know. She barks at me before I even make it into the parking lot. So
it's a hello bark, though. Come on. Is it a snarling, I'm going to murder you, I'm going to rip your throat out bark?
Sometimes.
Oh, wow.
You were in the bathroom, though. You didn't see it.
That's all right. True. All right. So she probably won't murder you, but if she does, I'm sorry ahead of time.
It was just all right. Well, let's hopefully, Kirk, you were prepared and did a Kirk's Corner this week, and I think we should head on over there.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'll have that for you guys tomorrow. I'm just kidding. All right. So John made something. We're supposed to catch something. It's a cat.
Oh.
There's a cat in the corner.
No.
Is that what that was?
I saw it. Shoop is in the corner.
Is that what that was? It was Shoop? Okay. And then that looks like, is that Cavassier? What is that bottle?
Or
a fancy bottle.
Magic potion. I was trying to go Halloween.
Okay.
Oh, magic potion. Drink it, Kirk.
Glug, 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 glug. And what is it? It looks like, what is it? It's
a creepy finger rock of some kind.
It's a rock with the orange
beaks.
Oh my God, they're geese.
Oh, it's little geese. Okay.
What the hell is that, John?
I would like to. This took a few times, but I would like to introduce Mount Goosemore.
Oh, okay, all right. It's from we had jokes about Mount Rushmore, so we combined it with the geese. Okay, got it.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like it.
Those are distinguished. The Lincoln goose looks drunk. I'm just going to say right now, he looks hammered. Well, okay. So, hey, thanks for the new animation. Awesome as always. So, Kirk's Corner. You know what? It ended up, for some reason, a lot of these jokes ended up revolving. They had like a kid feel. Like I think I was in kid mode. So, and then there's two more lists at the end. So here's some Kirk's kid jokes. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready for some sweet jokes? Some kid jokes?
Let's hear it.
How about this one? Losing your retainer truly misses the point. You're supposed to retain it. Come on, you're not. All right. How about witches? This is for Halloween. Witches use spell check. Come on. Is this thing on? Okay. All right. My house is completely childproof. No child has got in yet. Come on. It's a fortress. You can childproof anything by putting broccoli on or near it. They won't come anywhere near that. Speaking of vegetables, peeing your pants and having peas in your pants smell exactly the same. It's equally bad. It's just unpleasant. Here's one. This is if you're in shop class. This is if you guys did you guys take shop class?
I did not.
All right. How about, okay, this one you may. Okay, if you make a hole in a board, you're boring. Okay, that was for the woodsman. That was for the craftsman. Okay, how about this? I bet Shaquille O'Neal never orders Kobe beef. Come on, out of respect. Okay. A lot of people come to us for weight loss. Here's weight loss tip number 87: only eat shredded cheese. Okay, all right. Not gonna keep you fat. And John, you're a computer guy. Help me out with this. Why isn't there an app that fills out applications? Hashtag app. Can't we make this? I'm sick of applying with the same nonsense. Make it happen, John. App.
Tell me something about yourself that I need to know.
Yeah, I'm a good listener. What? See? All right. Anyway, okay. So here's the last one. The dyslexic politician lost in a landslide after repeatedly kissing hands and shaking babies. That's going to cost you votes. All right. So those are some of the jokes. Those are the kid jokes. Now we're just two lists. The first one is I came up with these are the least popular ice cream flavors. I may have done this before, but they're new ones. They're different. These ice cream flavors do not sell well. Are you guys ready? Are you interested?
Yes.
Okay. First one, Broccoli Road. Ugh, that is not Broccoli Road. Under the Couch Cushion Delight. That's
a no.
I do not even want a sample of that one. Everything even my dog won't eat. That is a short, disgusting list. All right, two more. The other one was bubblegum and hairballs. That's that's a bad combo. And the last one, my personal favorite, least popular ice cream flavors, Salma Vanilla. Salma. All right, so there's that, and then the other one. Do you guys, Chris? I know you remember Bo Jackson.
Of
John,
course.
do you remember Bo Jackson? You remember he was the
I
Bo
think so.
Nose guy. Bo Nose football. You remember the Bo Nose campaign?
He was a two-way player. Played football, baseball,
and yeah, huge.
I was going to say
Nike.
it sounds familiar, but I'm not.
Okay. Wow, it was so big, John. Did you know it spun off, and it was also there was a clown named Bozo. So it's Bozo Nose. So are you guys ready for what Bozo knows?
Yes.
All right, here's the Bozo Nose floppy shoes. Okay. Bozo Nose pies in the face. Okay. Bozo Nose seltzer water in the pants. And the last one, Bozo Nose carpooling. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-boom. All right, so there's Kurt Corner. Those are the jokes. You guys heard them. You guys have first crack at confusion, anger, or joy. Whatever hits your fancy.
I like Salma Vanilla.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I want to say the broccoli one, I could have swore it immediately brought back a sense that we've looked at ice cream before. And I can't remember when.
I remember there was like that corn dog phase where the taste
Yeah.
test.
There was also ice cream. I just can't remember.
Wait, Jeff Bezos put an ice cream machine in his
Yeah,
house.
I know. It was some
I
weird...
swear I had other ice cream flavors too. I think that was just a running bit. I'll have to, you'll have to go back to the archives. Maybe it could have been.
I just remember looking and trying to get an ice cream that was really bizarre flavored. I'll have to try and jog my memory.
Please. You haven't been jogging in years, even your memory. Hey, okay.
All right, John. With that, let's go
Get
back
away
to
from
our
Goose Mount Rushmore. That's gonna haunt my dreams.
Well, if you saw my question relativity this week, the moon would haunt your dreams. But
Yes.
Oh,
so check it out.
It was a
My
creepy
views-
moon.
Oh, okay. I think I missed that. I've caught all the. I must have missed that last one. I've been up to date.
It came out on Tuesday. Question relativity. John animated it, but I drew everything. So
Oh, yeah, good point.
yes,
There was some stuff you animated. I just had to...
yeah, but you walked me through it because that shit's kind of hard.
Yes.
I'm gonna need some more lessons because I'm not the best at it, but I'm willing to keep going. So
No. John, next week, John is going to teach it to a monkey with mental problems and have an easier time.
yeah, probably.
No, all right.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's that time of night. Let's
Is
go
it
off topic.
Off topic. We're going off. All right, who's going first for off topic?
See, that's where John, with his new soundboard, can put in a drum roll.
If I could figure out how to get it to work.
Oh, we're so close to sound effects. You can almost taste them.
Every time I try and get it working, it crashes my computer, and I don't know why.
Well, it's clear that you hate Kirk. So
I mean,
he's been so excited for sound effects. So clearly,
Yeah.
well, hey, Kirk, what do you got? I know you got something up on tap.
all right. So when we have sound effects, you'll know John no longer hates me as much. That's what this sound. Okay. So yeah, off topic. Here's what I came up with. I saw it was a story as a man in India, and he was named the shortest competitive bodybuilder by Guinness Book of World Records. And this guy is 3 feet 4 inches. First of all, I mean, just my 2 cents. 3 foot 4 inches, not much of a bodybuilder. His body is pretty small, not a bad bodybuilder. And also he second thing, this guy, he wants to break the world record for most push-ups in a minute, which doesn't seem fair because how far does he really have to go? I mean, they have to, the hummingbird film, that's how fast the distance is. So come on, a guy 3 feet 4 inches doing a push-up is not moving much against a normal. Come on, unfair, right? Come on, take a stand. Come on, it's not gonna. No, come on, God, don't be so. But seriously, my lanky arms. How much further do you have to go to do a push-up?
Yeah, no, you're right. Because I was looking at it.
Numbers, yeah, you pull it up, right?
Yeah, he has a form of dwarfism where his arms and legs are shorter.
Yeah.
So we'll just put an asterisk in there.
Well, it's almost like he's the shortest bodybuilder, so he'd be like the shortest guy who did that many push-ups.
Right.
I think it would have to be. And I'm always amazed, just the amount of stories that pop up with Guinness Book of World Records. Like, everything is a damn world record. So at a certain point, it seems a little silly, doesn't it? I mean, it's like,
yeah, it's
Guinness Book of World Records for walking backwards and picking your nose at the same time and eating Cheetos. You know what I mean? It's the point. It seems stupid.
Because I want to say they charge for the record because you have to pay to get it verified, which usually means having.
Oh, it costs some money.
I might be wrong on that, but
of course, no, I assume no. But it's almost like when I would do stand up, you would do contests, and there would be people that were musicians or just people that wanted to be on stage, and just some of them were slightly homeless or something. But just it's like, hey, you could win money or you could be famous, and that seems depressing. They're just taking advantage of freaks who will give them money. That sounds like a bummer.
I say at episode, I don't know what, 35, we get the Guinness Book of World Records for Fuzed Relativity podcast done.
Nobody's done more Fuzed Relativity podcasts than us. That's what you're saying?
That's right. Yes.
Well, I guess you can't argue with that.
Okay, so it does look like if there's multiple tiers. Like if you do have to submit a $5 administration fee every time you apply, and it can take up to 12 weeks.
$5. That's not terrible.
But that doesn't guarantee that you've done everything right, and they'll even accept your application.
But I'm sure they get lots of applications for people who just,
What would you guys do a world record for if you had to? Gun to your head. What could you?
That's a hard question.
I was gonna say sleeping would be nice, but I'm an insomniac, so that doesn't really work for me.
So you would try to sleep. You'd set the world for longest sleeper, and you're an insomniac, and you would waste everybody's time.
Longest amount of time trying to fall asleep.
We know that John would go for the palest human being.
Not a redhead.
Oh, true point.
What about some color?
I gotta be real honest. There's anything remotely extraordinary happening anything around me, so I got nothing.
Okay, hey, just throwing it out there. It just popped in my head. Don't at ease. How dare you guys not want to have a Guinness Book? You're not American. You know what? Move back to Russia. That's what I say.
Yeah. Well, I have an interesting one. Maybe not interesting, but I'll throw it out there anyway. So, do you guys know what steak tartare is?
Yes.
It's like it's fish that do black tar heroin.
So I saw this story the other day, and it cracked me up quite a bit. It was a customer ordered from a restaurant steak tartare, which essentially is just raw steak with a egg yolk cracked on top that's raw. And I was laughing because the person who ordered it sent it back for being raw.
She wanted it well done. They wanted it.
Oh,
and it's filet mignon, so it's like, it's a good.
I was gonna say, and it's minced.
Yeah, and it's real finely cut, but I just laughed. I was like, if you're ordering something off a menu and you don't know what it is, like maybe ask about it.
Well, how do you know when it's wrong? If you don't know what it is, then how you complain? This is not what it's supposed to be, but you never knew what it was supposed to be.
Right. And so there was like it went viral because the chef or the owner or whoever it was went on TikTok and was like, if you order steak tartare, you shouldn't be bummed if it comes out raw.
Right. And he said it minced around, it danced around. That's odd. That's odd for steak to do.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not like it's raw because it's usually in a very acidic mix, isn't it?
It can be, but it's not cooked. So I mean, like a vinegar base would essentially cook it, but yeah, steak tartare is traditionally just a raw steak.
Yeah.
But if it's not raw, was it at least pushing back way back? Okay, come on.
Well, and that was just the thing is like maybe do your research or ask the waiter before you order steak tartare because, I mean, it doesn't really sound that appealing to me because it's raw steak with a raw egg yolk on it, but that's what it's supposed to be. So don't
know
send
what
it back.
know what you're ordering, people. I mean, yeah, if
Yeah.
I'm gonna try something different. What? I didn't know what that was. Well, I mean, how? I hate to say it like as an old man, but like Google it. Seriously, come on. How far? Oh, let me look at. I like everything else I do. I look it up on my phone, and then that's what that is. Seems like
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
Right. You're gonna Google it. It's gonna say raw steak, and you're gonna go, I don't want that.
I like cooked steak.
Yeah. at least brown it a little bit. Let me.
Something.
Yeah, make me think that it's a little cooked. So that was my off topic. I thought it was a little ridiculous that someone would send that back, but
It was also I agree with you, but there was a joke in Red Dwarf that was essentially the same. And Red Dwarf's kind of a not very American show, so not many Americans will probably understand it. But yeah, it was similar principle. I want to say it was a tomato ceviche. It's been so long since I've watched it, but it's supposed to be served cold. He got it, was like, "Oh, the soup's cold. Can I have it warmed?" And everyone made fun of him.
well, yeah, because ceviche is
Yeah.
it's cold.
Yeah.
So,
But my off topic was Russia's going to beat Tom Cruise into space to make a movie. They're sending some people to shoot the movie to the ISS.
they're already up there.
That's what it was. They're already up there. Yeah, I think when I saved this article, it was a couple days.
Yeah, they launched them not too long ago. The whole
So wait,
crew.
Tom Cruise is in space shooting a space movie.
No. He's going up with SpaceX soonish to do the next Mission Impossible in space.
Oh, which
Because-
mission? I mean, they're up to like 5 or 6. I mean, it's a bunch, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, it should be Mission Possible because
If they keep coming back, it just seems like a misnomer. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the first 4, we were like, oh, it's impossible, but I think we got this one.
It's like Fast and the Furious in space. I mean,
meets Sharknado.
yeah.
Yeah, Sharknado's got to be in there somewhere just to bring all the franchises together. The fastest, deadliest sharks racing against the fastest, deadliest street racers. Really? Yep.
In space.
In space.
Space. And they all look like dicks.
Well, it's kind of cool, right? First time we've ever really shot a movie in space. So,
I think
it's
that's
fun.
technically not true, but when I was reading the comments, someone was saying that it's technically the second movie. But I would assume the first one was either shot suborbital or on a suborbital op type thing.
I think it's funny. A lot of the film workers, like kind of the behind the scenes people, I guess, are striking because they're for like
I saw
decent
that.
hours. So I like the idea of them flying to space and then picketing and not working. They're in space floating around like, nope, we're not working until you pay us more. Come on, you're in space. Like, we're running out of oxygen. Pay us more money. Oh,
Yeah, because it's not SAG. It's the actual support staff.
Right, SAG. That's people who really like Bob Saget. Of course.
I always think of that music video with him now. Not Home Alone, not Funniest Home Videos. Stupid music video from late 2000s.
John, you misspoke. You said Home Alone. He was not in Home Alone.
What's the TV show?
Full House.
Full House. Jesus.
Home house. What's you're becoming like an 80-year-old old man already. What the home house?
Yeah.
Same thing.
And speaking of, think about this. Now, we're, fairly not super close, but we're fairly close in age. Macaulay Culkin turned 40. So
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah,
So
so
the
that sounds
kid-
about right.
the kid from Home Alone turned 40.
They're doing a remake where he moved back in with his parents because he's a struggling, Gen Z or whatever. And then he's home alone again.
I was going to say, he's your age there, Kirk.
I know. So that'd be a funny premise. Macaulay Culkin moves back in with his family, and then they lose him again.
He's at the bar.
He's just a blackout drunk. It's sort of like Home Alone meets Bad Santa. It could work. This could go places.
$1 million idea, Kirk.
If movies don't make $8 billion, it's a failure. Thanks a lot. $1 million idea.
No, well,
No, thank you for saying it could make $1 million and then lose 200 million. So, thank you.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming Macaulay Culkin is probably, he's got a pretty good agent at this point, I would imagine.
I don't think he's actually been in much.
No, his agent let him go. He's been long not cute anymore. Please, he has no agent.
All right, well. Then, $1 million seems like it could happen.
Right. He's working for sandwiches.
William Shatner's 90 and he's going to go into space and be the oldest guy in space.
He better be singing Rocket Man, which is a killer version. He does a killer version of Rocket Man. If you've never heard it, William Shatner singing Rocket Man's pretty funny.
How could you not? If you're flying up on the Blue Origin ship when it's going to launch. Rocket Man.
Oh, good God, he is 90.
Yeah, he's 90. And he was trying not to focus on that in an interview. They were asking him about being the oldest guy in space, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that."
He doesn't look 90.
Well, yeah, he's with Bezos. Bezos is working on the Fountain of Youth. So,
and
Bezos is a dick. Yeah. I don't know.
I just one more. Yes, reoccurring thing. If anybody, by the way, if you missed last episode. Bezos is still a dick. Anyway, tune in next week. Bezos will still be a dick.
But yes, I think that rounds out the show. We've been kind of rambling for the last, 15 minutes, just having fun.
But an hour and a half.
Let's wrap her down. Let's pull her in for a landing. Let's set her down.
Hey, well, listen, Friday night, we pulled it together. Kirk, good luck tomorrow with your Saturday shift. It's probably going to be hopping.
Right.
And
let's see if my jokes work better there. We'll test it on there too. I'll run Kirk's Corner live against people drinking beers.
Hopefully, you'll wear your new shirt to the bar soon, and then we could throw that shirt on our, maybe get some merch going on it. Who knows?
Yeah. If people want to buy it, how much could you just think about how much you charge them? Because if people like it, hey, my buddy can make one for, I don't know,
$100 million.
All right. That's a bit much, Dr. Evil.
Okay. Probably $20. We'll say $20. Seems right for a shirt.
Could be.
Yeah. Maybe 10. Depends.
Who knows? Let me figure it out. Let me know. Have your accountant call my accountant. Actually, have your accountant find me an accountant because I don't have an accountant.
Well, I'm my accountant, so I'll see what I can do.
All right. Let me know.
Yeah. So anyway, for John and Chris and Kirk, thanks for joining us a day early. John, anything to add to this episode?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not your birthday again, Mr. Steal the Thunder? Okay.
All right. Well, everybody, once again, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.